My name is Trey,
I am Cynthia.
and we are Roots and Wings. And I'm gonna let you go ahead with why we're doing this YouTube channel.
So, the purpose for me wanting to do this is because I believe that through my life experiences, my trials, and my journey, I can help uplift some people that are in need and encourage them to keep moving forward in spite of.
So, and my reason for doing this is to be able to enlighten people on the power that they have within themselves, um, and to tap into the spiritual journey because it's a lot more to life than just working a job or dealing with things that you don't have to deal with. This we here to enlighten you and to give you some tips on self-development and just to be the best version of yourself.
Awesome.
So
You ready for it?
yeah, go ahead.
Can you tell me old stories about yourself?
So I'm gonna start by old stories about myself is like me not being good enough. you know I may have not been the tallest. I may have not been the strongest person out of the crew. But what I learned throughout my spiritual journey, and I learned about myself is, you know, my spirit and my spiritual team. We're 10 times big. We're 10 times bigger than what I could have ever imagined myself being in the physical. I'm 10 times stronger. My spirit is 10 times stronger than what life can throw at me. Just in general. And I believe in self mastery, um, because that'll unlock so many things for you in life. Just being able to master yourself. You know, and one of my sayings, one of my quotes I always say all the time is, "When you master yourself, the world is yours."
Yes.
So
Yes. For me, I share the same story. Um, Always feeling like I wasn't good enough. Um, a lot of why I felt that way was because of things that was said to me, things that was done to me, and so it was. I wasn't born thinking I wasn't good enough. It was me looking at myself through the eyes and lens of someone else and taking on what they felt about me instead of taking on what I felt about myself.
yes,
And so I found myself in life up to about maybe 5 years ago, um, always trying to be better, not for myself, but for so that they could, those ones that told me and made me feel that I wasn't good enough. I i was living to prove to them that I was good enough, when all the time I should have been proving it to myself. I should have known within that I was good enough.
yes.
So that I have a lot of old stories, but that's one of my main stories, of not feeling good enough.
What's alignment really means and what how to get back to it?
So um, what alignment really means, and I'll speak for myself, because I've been able to master that within myself. Alignment is really focusing on you know making sure your thoughts and actions are aligned with a specific goal or a task that you trying to achieve. um my goal was self-development, being able to master myself. So um alignment for me in that aspect would be, I'm only listening to things that will develop me, um not only physically but spiritually. um, my actions as far as alignment would be, um, go for walks. get out in nature, being able to ground myself. Um, my actions will be going to the gym, getting fit, getting my body and my mind right, getting that oxygen to the brain and to the blood. Um, it's another action. You know, being able to talk amongst friends and family about um, what I learned and encouraging other people. You know, those are some of the actions, and some of the things that I would do as far as like if I want to get in alignment, or if I want to get back into alignment. And that's my definition of it.
So my definition of being in alignment for me would be connecting with my higher self, and sitting still, which is what I love to do anyway. But just sitting still and listen to what comes to me, listening to my higher self, because your higher self is not going to steer you wrong. It's not going to mislead you. It's not going to misguide you. And so, alignment for me, most importantly, like I said, is just sitting still, whether it be in a quiet spot, whether it's out in nature, as Trey just said, and also to tag along what he said, you know, being very aware of what you're listening to, the environment you're being around, because if it's not going to propel you in wherever it is you're trying to do, or wherever you're trying to go, then I make sure I stay away from it.
Right.
I'm aware of what I listen to. I'm aware of the environment I'm in. I'm aware of what I'm reading, and
Right.
for me, that's what being in alignment is.
Right.
Tell me about self love.
Self love, um, I believe, is like the most important thing that the most important quality that you need to have, um, because I'm trying to think how to answer it. Um, if you, so if you have self love, you would be able to get through all kinds of things that may be thrown at you. Um, and so let me just share a story. My uh, um, something that I went through, and it was because I didn't have self love, and it wasn't because I was intentionally not loving myself. It was again coming from a space where I didn't know how to love myself, because I was so busy trying to make other people happy, and I wasn't doing it for myself. So um, I I had an experience, I have a lot of experiences, but one that stands out to me was recently where I had to cut ties with someone I thought that was my best friend, and going through the dark night of the soul, um, I started realizing, I started seeing that, you know what, this person really doesn't mean me well. And I've been seeing signs along the way, but I just gave excuse for it. I excused the actions. I excused the little sly remarks. I excused the fact that I felt like I was doing more in the relationship than, and I wasn't getting the same in return, or just as much. The little bit that I did get, I was so grateful for, and that kept me going. But then realizing that no, this is not right. This doesn't feel right. And so I had to sit with myself for a while to really see, or to really look at what I thought I was seeing. And I analyzed and I talked to family and friends, and I realized that had I loved myself, had I put myself first, I would not have experienced those things that I experienced with this person I thought was my best friend. I would not have made excuses for things that was said, and I just brushed it off as it was okay. And it was not okay. Had I put myself first, loved myself, those things would have never came up. And so self love is putting yourself first above all. When a person comes to you for something, or a situation is happening and you're not sure about it, you take time. Okay, how will this affect me? Am I putting myself out the way? Am I going to be uncomfortable when this is all said and done? Because for whatever you do for a person, you have to feel just as good about doing it as that person feel. And there were so many times in my life where I helped people and I didn't feel good. That person felt good. I felt good that they felt good. But then when I'm in my quiet spot, I didn't feel good. And so whenever you're in a space like that, then you did not put yourself first. That's not self-love. You have to put yourself above all, everything.
Tell me about spiritual bypass.
Okay. Um, I would say spiritual bypass is, um, you know, using spirituality or love and light as an excuse or like how to get out of something. For example, dealing with conflict, you know, you can't necessarily say love and light and all is well to conflict that is, of a threat to you. Um, that's one thing I learned is you got to be able to, whatever it is going on, and you got to notice within yourself that you're going to get through it and that you're going to handle it, you're going to take care of it. Um, you got to know that you can defeat whatever it is that's going up against you. And you got to deal with conflict head on. You know, that's my whole mentality is dealing with it head on, because if I brush it off or if I push it to the side for later, that's gonna boil over. It's gonna build up to even more than what it was in the first place. And I just learned not to be afraid of conflict because I know who I am. Um, and I'm not going to allow a situation, allow a person or a situation to define me as a person. I know who I am as a person. Um, I've learned boundaries. I've been able to establish boundaries. Um, that's another that's another way of being able to confront conflict and all that with boundaries and being able to respect those boundaries that you have within yourself. You respecting your boundaries and other people respecting your boundaries. Um, just not using spirituality as a get out of jail free card or whatever. Or, you know we're still here in the physical. Um, there's cause and effect to everything that we do, and always make sure that you know I give and I bring the best energy, um, because I know what you put out is what you get back. So um, I always want to be on the receiving end of something good. So as me knowing that I put out good stuff is that brings me satisfaction knowing that whatever good that I put out is going to come back. It's got to come back. So that's my perspective on spiritual bypass.
So Trey, what is your perspective of self love and your
Um, so my experience on self love, um, I've been in a couple of situations where I've been, you know, the butt of the joke, or I've been, in situations where, the normal person would be like embarrassed, or they would just feel so bad about themselves. Um, I took those experiences as learning lessons because those were things for me to work on within myself, as far as self love. Um, and out of those experiences, I learned that I don't have to I don't have to deal with the things that I put up with before. I don't have to tolerate you know um, disrespect from others. Um, them them being so into what they're into, but them having no emotion, or them having no kind of excitement about me, um, and what I got going on. And I just learned that I'm worth more than what other people expectations are of me. I value myself a little bit more than how other people see or how other people value me. I'm just not one of those people that just, and I had to learn that within myself, that I'm not one of those people that be um, just up in people's face, knowing that they don't really care about me like that. I've been put in situations where I've had to be the one to choose whether I choose myself and walk away, or I stay in this situation and just continue to suffer. And um, I've walked away from those decisions because I'm like, I deserve better than this. I don't deserve to be treated like this. I don't deserve to go through this unnecessary trauma or whatever. And just me having that value within myself, I'm more valuable than um, this situation that I'm currently in. And me just learning how to remove myself and put myself in better positions for me to win. Um, because I'm not going to deal with people if they're not going to put each other in a situation where it's a win-win, rather than it be a win for you and a loss for me. So that's that's my experience, and that's what I learned from being able to love myself and develop that trait of self-love, and just being able to value myself.
So, what I hope to gather or get from doing this podcast with my son Trey is definitely share uh, again experiences that I've gone through, um, and to also gather people who have, if not shared the same experience, some similar experiences or any experiences in life that have been trying, and also to encourage people to again to keep going and growing. And I don't have all the answers, so there are probably some people out there as well that are on their journey to healing and growing spiritually, and they can join in with us and help share their stories as well.
And what I would like to bring forth um, to this channel, and the kind of value that I would want to bring to our viewers, is to build a community of people that are on their healing journey, like Mom said, um, being able to help out each other, whether we're further along or we're not as further along as other people. Reaching, reaching back to them people that's just starting on their spiritual journey, or you know they're in the middle of it, or they're going through some tough times and they need encouragement, or they just need somebody to relate to. Just being able to um, bring value to people and have a community that I didn't necessarily have um, beginning my spiritual journey, but I did have people who I listened to that helped me along that spiritual journey, and I want to be able to do for those that are in their spiritual journey that was done for me with for the people that I listen to in the spiritual journey. That just bring encouragement. Um, we're not here to tear people down. We're here to bring truth. We're here to bring truth to the people. We're here to bring truth to um, the experiences and relate to the experiences that we have. We're also here to bring and speak on our truth,
Hope.
um, because you know, speaking on truth, that's a powerful thing, and we don't have too many of those people out here that really do that and they really stand on it. We're here to stand on it. We're here to speak our truths and bring truth and honesty and realness to the people, um, and to just build a community for people who want to grow and who want to start to self develop, and just create a family, create a family and create a legacy on our channel. So
We look forward to seeing you here soon.
yes, um, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And also comment as well. If you guys got some stories, or if you guys just starting out on your spiritual journey, we would love some feedback from you guys as well. Um, we'll love to hear you guys' story. And we looking forward to seeing you guys very soon.